Turns out that people really hate Alyssa Mercante because this Smash JT guy has got a, fundraiser on Give Send Go going, and it is just doing fantastic. Alyssa Mercante sues Smash JT YouTuber Alexis alleged doxing, family endangerment. Click the link, join channel here over at SubScribe or the various other links. So, I don't think I can use the word whore in the title, but the whore Alyssa Mercante, at least the figurative one. Don't sue me, bro. But definitely a literal attention whore. Was she fired from Kotaku for taking attention away from the stories and making the story about herself? It's weird because she's, and I'm not alleging that, I don't know, but she said that she decided to quit just serendipitously right before Kotaku fired a bunch of people. So, I mean, it's amazing timing on her part, but, kind of makes you question, was she lying then or lying now to try to increase her damages for tortious interference? One of the various allegations she has against this JT guy, which is, like zero chance of this case going forward because they're both public figures and they're both journalists, and nothing he said is outrageous. And she also admitted so many things on her social media posts about her alleging that she was a lady of negotiable affection. It's like, well, once you say that, how do you sue someone else for rephrasing that? It's not a very strong case. In fact, the more likely possibility is that she would have to pay damages to him for his fees, which could be $25,000 or more. So roughly to start at the beginning, I mean, you can go all the way back to Gamergate 2014 with Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian and feminist frequency and the whole rise of feminism and the kind of the trans thing pretty much ended it or started to end it. And then for some reason Trump getting in 2016, they switched all their energy away from feminism to focusing on Trump. So finally feminist frequency had to shutter its doors. So you've got video games. Then along come these globalists who push the political commissars, these groups like Black Girl Gamers and Sweet Baby, and their job is to get between the game company and the buyer, so they can take these games and make them basically ugly and anti-white because they're ugly anti-white people and they want to bring the world down to their level. And also, to be fair, because you've got like Larry Fink and BlackRock and Soros type of involvement, and the rest are they're kind of paying these companies to facilitate this kind of wokeness. So if the money is being pushed, you can't really blame these useful idiots for taking it. So you've got these blue-haired puppet women who make the games stupid and woke, and predictably it hurts the sales. So kind of the longevity of, well, the woke industry is up in the air because there's a massive backlash happening right now. And also video game industries decide if they want to go the way of Concord, Dustborn, and maybe Veilguard Dragon Age. Then people started taking notes of these globalists involved in these games. The Sweet Baby Detected group, they would find the games that had been destroyed by these idiots and just point it out and make notes on it so the buyer, caveat emptor, and the SCWs lost their minds with this little bit of information, which is odd because you'd think they'd be proud of their work. And obviously, people should have the choice to decide for themselves where they want to spend their money. If they want to play this, Frankfurt School propaganda about everything is just blue-haired, fat, ugly, and stupid. And why would they want to play these kind of games? So it turned out that gamers actually have a fair amount of power to affect the sales of these games, as they should, because they're the ones who are paying for it. And so they get on social media and they talk about these what these globalist anti-white companies are doing and what games are racist and misandrist or maybe even anti-Christian, and they simply stop buying them, as is their right. Nobody wants to play games with obese, trans, furry, brown, otherkin. Give us normal, fit, healthy characters. Like, do they have to be blonde hair, blue eyed, out of Aryan Central casting? I mean, it would be cool, but just be pro-European with these games because we're awesome, and we know we're awesome. And if you want to put pox, walks in games or BLT in games, make them the antagonists, and that would kind of fit more naturally with the gamers' expectations. Gamers are male, and they're mostly of European or Asian origin, They're not obese, blue-haired, pox-wox women, POC or WOC. I think that's women's of colors with colors who identify as whatever. We're marginalized and oppressed and disenfranchised. No, you're not. The gamers are marginalized and oppressed by having to listen to these fat, ugly pox-wox women just whine their Frankfurt School programming. They never stop to think about what they're saying because they're just so far left of the bell curve. You can, Black Girl Gamers, I think, has an interview on YouTube, and you listen to them, and they sound like they sound like idiots. It's 20 minutes that you won't get back, and every other sentence is California, like California upspeak about the marginalized, and it gets tiresome. Listening to left wing women is basically a war crime because they're NPCs. They just repeat things without understanding them. It's like playing chess with the pigeon. Left wing women should really not be able to speak in public. Anyway, this is the same mentality of the left wing going crazy over diversity in comics, sitting in his car, holding a comic in one hand and a cell phone in the other, just crapping on these stupid comics. All they had to do was ignore it, and his channel would have slowly grown, but it never really would have broken out. But instead, they're pouring pure oxygen onto that machine, and his channel blew up, and he started selling millions of dollars worth of comics. But when he criticizes the comic themes, that's an attack on them personally and their silly religion of Bolshevism. And for that, they wanted to delete him because the SJW kids are mentally ill, lost souls who hate themselves and they're ashamed and they want to bring everyone down to their level. It's kind of the fat acceptance movement. So people rejecting woke video games caused an emotional reaction in the Coomer consumer left-wing crowd, and they didn't buy the games, but they wanted to control what the normal people played. This is kind of standard operating procedure for the soy boys, where they don't support the gay stuff that they say they want, where we can just be open and say, yeah, we don't value gay, diversity, or feminism. We're pro-straight, European, and patriarchy. It's easier to just come out and say it and put your cards on the table. Like, why wouldn't we be pro our team? We look at these, our opponents here, our ideological opponents, and go, people are all mentally ill. And you're disgusting, you're just disgusting, disingenuous examples of like, peak Coomer Weimar. So if the SJWs want to play Dragon Age or Conquered or Dustborn, or a song about being the newborn and the new prawn, and then there's some other lyric in there about replacing the people of the light with the poxwox, which is kind of weird because, like, if you can't make your own areas great, you need someone else to like make it great, and then you need to replace them. It seems like a pretty big self-own. Anyway, a lot of people inserted themselves into this issue, fair enough, because there's grifting on both sides, because unfortunately Twitter is monetized now, and clickbait sells, and that kind of is not so cool. But the core is people, the men, don't want to pay for gay, POC, anti-white, racist games. Why would you play games from people who hate you? Let them starve. We know we're awesome, which is the thing. So Mercante, who loves being the center of the attention, she keeps taking pictures of herself with the same pose, like all the time, and she blocked one of my accounts. So she was editing and writing articles for Kotaku, which is also woke, but I guess not that woke because they weren't making money, and they decided that they needed to start selling some ad space because, like I said, all the mainstream media is in trouble, and mainstream gaming journalism is in trouble as well. And so her public fighting was probably hurting the brand, and they just wanted to cut her loose when they cut loose everyone else. So Kotaku fired a bunch of people to try to turn things around because mainstream media, including these games parasitical journalists, the woke Lugan press, is in trouble. And there's a lot of people in the mainstream media who are talking about it because, and they think they value themselves so highly. And you look at them and go, if you could ever have an honest conversation with them, they wouldn't. You go, so can you have like an equal representation of people who are as far right as you are far left in the mainstream media? Because I don't see that at all. And they look at you like you're crazy. It's like, no. We have to, Mia Brankovics was saying, we have to control what people think. And this is mainstream everything is kind of getting destroyed, and it's going to continue because the mainstream media is going to continue to decline because they're so biased, and it's so obvious now because now we have alternatives. And when you have mainstream media is a monologue, and alternative media is a dialogue where there's back and forth in the comment section, and there's alternative perspectives. And the mainstream media, I mean, they were so panicked they got Nina Jankowicz and the Ministry of Truth. Absolutely bizarre. And you look at the left and you go, okay, so you keep mentioning disinformation and misinformation. Presumably someone will be the arbiter of capital T truth. Someone like Nina Jankowicz, someone appointed by a left wing person. Would you feel the same if a right wing person had a ministry of truth? And they go, no, 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 of course not. Only we know what the truth is. People have been arguing about the concept of truth before the Socratic method, before Aristotle, before wherever. It's bizarre that left wingers, and I get in this with them all the time on Twitter before they block me, and asking them like, well, who gets to decide? And why would two people discussing something? I mean, man as in mankind discussing something. Why would they need a third party to tell them what the truth is? How would the third party know? And wouldn't they just be biased? And they never have an answer to that. Anyway, Alyssa Mercante was proud of being a filthy whore. She bragged about it on Twitter. She said she was a cam girl, which means, I think that means like she cucumbers and, Astroglide and that kind of stuff for her Coomer fans, which is like everyone, it's just kind of pathetic all the way around. When she was asked about how she got into the industry, she said that she had used her mouth to get in there. And so her case for defamation is not going to go anywhere when she admitted to being a cum dumpster. She didn't have to insert herself into this online fight. Just do your editing for Kotaku and write your stupid articles. I've actually talked to him a few times on Twitter over the years. But she blames JT for everything under the sun, including going after her based on race, which I didn't see evidence for that. I mean, she's Italian, he's Mexican, so like, aren't they kind of equal? Anyway, so she's toxic to any company now because, she fights online and she makes the story about her, which she should. I mean, like, she's not. I don't think anyone would want to be associated. She did one article for Rolling Stones. Her best option is probably to start her own media company. Like, Bounding into Comics, That Park Place, Smash JT. What's JT's things? Oh shit, the one on Substack or something. I forget what it's called, Fandom something. Do something like that because I don't think any company would want to be associated with her. She's such a hot button. I mean, she go on her Twitter and she's got several videos of her. She's really her focused. It's kind of weird. So like, just stop putting yourself as the center of attention when you're supposed to be an editor and a writer about games that are trying to be sold to other people. Like, just get married, have kids, and stop trying to be an edgy girl boss. Her information's all out there because her pleadings, she redacted her name and her address for her own safety, but then she included this guy's address, and it's like, you can just go online and her address pops up instantly. But it's like, that makes you, and the thing is, her lawyer okayed that. Her lawyer might have been the one who did it. And then you look at her lawyer and you go, oh, you guys are screwed. You guys are so screwed. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for the flashlights and everything. And I'll see you guys all next episode.